This here is the onebot S6. It's a foldable e-bike with a 250 watt motor. It has 16-inch rims, 160mm mechanical disc brakes, and the best part about it is it does fold into a very small compact size. It folds in half, the handlebars come down, and that means you're able to stow it away under a stairwell or get it into the boot or trunk of a car without too much of an issue. So in this in-depth review, I'll be going over the build quality, the design, exactly what you can expect out of the onebot S6 here, and then the range that you're able to achieve as well. So the rear seat is nice and wide, it's comfortable. There is a good 2 or 3 centimeters of sponge right here. Now the seat height is adjustable, and I wish it would go just a little bit higher. As it stands, for my height of 186 centimeters, it's just high enough for me. And here we do have a rear reflector. So we have a little tiny short kickstand right here, and it does support the bike just fine without any problems. It has not toppled over now in the week or so I've been riding on this bike. Disc brakes right here, so 160mm mechanical disc brakes, and there is this little shock absorber in the rear which gives, well, it's only about an inch or so of travel, but it does help dampen out some of the bumps as you're riding along. Up the front, another 160mm mechanical disc brake. The wheels on this one, so they are 16 inches by 1.95, the tires, the width of them. And up the front we do have a front headlight which is rather bright. You can turn that on by just holding the plus button for a few seconds, and it does also have a reflector within it. Now you may have noticed that there's this disc here. Now why would they have a metal disc right here with a spring on it? Well, it's actually when you fold it in half to hold the bike together. And our magnets here in the front wheel, so when it is together, that stops the bike from coming apart or rattling when you're moving it about in the folded form. So there are no gears on this particular e-bike here. The motor at the rear, this one is 250 watts. So if you need gears, you've got a lot of hills and things to climb. Clearly this is not the bike for you then, because it's just got that single speed. The pedals on the S6, these ones are foldable ones, so you can press them in, fold them up, just to help to make the bike a little bit more compact if you're going to be stowing it away somewhere, or putting it, for example, in the boot of a car. Now this latch here is what you need to pull open if you're going to be folding this bike in half. Now I really do like the little security it's got on here. So you push down on that, that then releases the latch, and you can open it up, pull it out, and then the bike will then flip right around. And you can do the same with the handlebars. So there's this little tiny red security there, push that in, the latch goes down, and then the handlebars drop right down like so. And this is what the bike looks like when it's completely folded down, the handlebars down, folded in half here. Very, very small, super portable, and easy to fit into the trunk or the boot of a car. And right down the bottom of the frame there is this little rollerblade style wheel there, and it's really quite convenient because this lets us then roll the bike. Now the 230 watt hour or 6.4 amp hour battery is located in the middle. It's lockable, and you can remove it and also charge it outside of the bike. So here we have the controller with all of our information, our front brake right here. The grips, they're not lock grips, but they aren't going anywhere. They're on quite solid and tight, which is good. So here, if you just hold down the air, it will power it on, turn it on. So we've got the 3 different pedal assist, and then the moped speed as well is actually controlled by this. So level 3 will take us up to 25 kilometers per hour maximum. Level 2 is approximately 20 kilometers per hour. Level 1, that is around 15, 16 to 17, just cruising along, which you can also use with the moped mode. The battery gauge there at the top, this is our speed, and you can cycle through the trip meter, odometer, which is currently at 47 kilometers that I've ridden at the time of recording, and our time and the trip meter. Over on the right side here, we've got our rear brake, and this is to accelerate with the moped mode. Now if you just turn that, it will go straight away, so you don't even have to pedal off, and you can use that to get around effortlessly with zero pedaling, but the range is very limited in that mode. They claim up to 15 kilometers, but really for my weight of 81 kilos, you're looking about 11 kilometers or so. Right here is a buzzer, just to alert people if they're in your way or whatever, and it's quite loud. I'll give you a sample. Okay, so let's have a look and see how it rides, which is the most important thing. So power on, and it takes a few seconds. And I'll start out here with just the accelerator. So using that, you can see it's very effortless, and I'm doing it currently about 14. It gets up to around 15 kilometers in mode 1. Mode 2, that then takes me up to about 21 kilometers. And finally the mode 3 here, so still not pedaling. That will get me up to 25 kilometers per hour. And you get a range of approximately around, well, they claim 15 kilometers, but really in just the moped mode for me, it's about 10 to 11 kilometers. Depends on your weight and any climbs you may be doing. And now I won't use that accelerator at all, and I will start to pedal. So just a single speed here. And once you pedal, get up to about 2-3 kilometers, it detects that from the crank sensor that it has. And now we're away. You can hear the motor a little bit, and it's giving me quite a nice boost along here. That's on mode 3. So on mode 1, it's only going to do it at the lower speed. So as soon as you get to 25 kilometers per hour, and once you go over that, the motor is then doing nothing, and that's just all your own pedal power then. So you do get a little bit of a workout and some fitness from that, if you wanted to do that, of course. Otherwise, you can just stop pedaling and use that accelerator there again. I have a bit of a climb ahead. I'm in power level 3 and a little bit of rough terrain too. So this bike is not really made for rough roads like this. It's not a mountain bike, tiny little wheels, no front shock, but it handles this just fine. That's a very small climb with ease, no real problem there, which is good to see. Even though it's only a 250 watt motor, I feel it's got plenty of power for situations like this, and I'm powering along here with ease. I'm at my typical climb test spot now here. So will these 16-inch wheels and the 250 watt motor be able to handle this 25 to 30 degree climb? Okay, so I will start off with the accelerator here, and that's on level 3. So it's actually doing okay. I'm up to 11 kilometers per hour with this very steep climb, but it's starting to struggle right now, dropping down to now 9 kilometers. So yes, big steep climbs like this, you are going to have to pedal. So I'll try now pedaling. A little tough at the start, but there we go. We're getting ahead now with a bit of physical power and then the motor power up to now 17 kilometers per hour climb. I'm going to catch up to this guy up here who's climbing on a normal manual mountain bike. All right, so now my brake test. So I'm going to scoot down here, get up to about 35 kilometers per hour. As soon as I hit the post here, full braking. It's actually not that bad at all, considering it's only 16-inch rims. And I annoyed the dogs right here. They're not happy with my brake test. So braking performance, better than expected. I have bedded in these mechanical disc brakes, 160 millimeter ones, and they're actually working pretty good for a bike of this size. So when you go over a few bumps, you can hear that battery rattle around. That is one minor little con there. And even my Trek, I've got a Trek Rail 5, the battery in it does rattle too. So it's very common for electric bikes to have that issue with rattling batteries. So an uneventful ride here, really quite effortless with that battery when you're pedaling. Now if you're just going to use that moped mode only, so that's just the motor only, it's, well, a little slow going when you're using that there. But it has been a nice, gentle ride here. Made it to the end of Las Rotas. Now this is really what this e-bike is about, is the city commutes. It's made for this. So from A to B on the bike lanes, this is where the onebot is really good. Now, what kind of range can you expect out of the onebot S6 here? So just in the moped mode, which is just using the motor, not even pedaling at all, you'll be lucky to get around about 11, maybe 12 kilometers out of it. That's with my weight of 81 kilos. So I'm not exactly the lightest person out there. If you're lighter, you ride more on the flats, then maybe you can get up to the 15 kilometer claim. Now, if you pedal, with the pedaling, you really do increase that range, because once it gets up to 25 kilometers per hour, the motor will cut out then and is not doing anything, and that does save a lot on the battery. So far, I've already charged it twice. I've now done almost 60 kilometers, and I'm charging it really about every 26 kilometers or so. That's with some steep climbs and using, of course, pedal power combined with the motor, with the pedal assist, mostly in mode 2, but a little bit of mode 3. If you use it on mode 1, it's a lot slower, but it does save more on the battery. So maybe it is possible to get around 35 to 40 kilometers just using that, and if you are on the flat. but it still falls short of the 50-kilometer range claim that they say you should be able to get out of this, out of that 230 watt-hour motor. Now with the climbs, I found that it does a very good job when you're pedaling, but you still need to actually put a little bit of power into it. If you're just going to use the motor and not pedal at all, it will handle small little climbs, but anything that's quite steep, like the climb that I showed you, which was down Las Rodas here, it did struggle a bit, but when you pedal, then you can actually rocket up most of those hills, and that is great, so you can get around quite easy. Now, for the comfort of it, my size, so I'm 186 centimeters, I did find that my knees are getting a little close to the handlebars. I find the compact size to the point where it's, I wouldn't call it uncomfortable, but it is getting a little cramped for someone like me. So if you're a little shorter, you'll find it to be fine then. It's more like of a small frame size, really. Now, the key thing to go for a bike like this, of course, is its compact, small size. So the fact that these handlebars, that you can pop them down so easy, like that, and then it folds in half. There's just the other one right here. So that opens up, and it flips right around, like so, and you can stow it away. The seat comes down as well, and that is really the key thing why I would go for a bike like this. If you're going to be doing a lot of city commutes, perhaps later you get on the train, then this is the bike for that, because it's so small and compact. And I'll just show you that it's very easy to get it up and running again. There you go. It's back in its normal state there, all unfolded. So that's really why you would get it, because you could get on the trains, you could fold it up, you could take it up into the office. Now the weight of this one, it is approximately 19 kilos, so it's not a super light e-bike. So thank you so much for watching my review here, my take on the onebot S6.